Welcome everyone to interview number 4 of OC Improvement Month with Gurbzy. Let's go. Welcome.
Let's go.
All right. So for those who are not familiar with you, could you just give a brief introduction to who you are as a player and what people probably know you as?
Okay, I'm Gurbzy, top three-digit player. I play really low DPI, 400 DPI, 0.5x in game. That's probably what most people know me by. And I'm more like a stream stamina player. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like a lot of people know you for your streaming abilities as
yeah.
well.
Or low sense. Yeah, either
Right.
one.
Right. And just kind of being a mouse player. So I think to start that off, there's a question that came in and I just lost it. Hold on, let me find it on the sheet. Someone asked about flow aim. So they said, to all those good flow aim players, how do I have more control and flow aim on streams that go really slow and then speed up, but still have control and not twitch while flow
Like
aiming the rest of the stream?
accelerating streams or like
Yeah,
decelerating
yeah, they
streams.
said, I've been trying to figure it out and I know I need aim control, but I'm not sure the best way to
Yeah, it
practice.
yeah, it's really complicated because it's like it's not it's kind of hard to practice because like every single one of them is like different, you know what I mean? They're kind of like all unique. But I mean, I would he kind of did answer it himself. It's kind of just like aim control and just he's kind of just getting a feel for like knowing the exact spacing, right? For every single like angle, I guess. But yeah, it's tough because like each Excel decel stream are kind of like unique.
Yeah. Do you have a specific way that you try to read accelerating streams? Like, do you break them down into smaller sections or do you just focus?
I kind of just rely on feel to be completely honest, and just I mean it
Ah,
is reading. It's kind of
right.
just looking, but it's kind of just like knowing the spacing, like
Okay. So
knowing
I,
when
I guess
it's
rhythm as well plays a big part.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. All right. There's another question that came in from Haya who asks, specifically to Gurbzy, what is your biggest thing on training stamina? Did you play any specific maps?
Okay. Yeah, I'm like I wasn't like a KHD where it's you kind of just spam uh what is it called?
The
The
long
like
stream?
this the long yeah, the long stream practice. I kind of just like spammed stamina maps, like just kind of like the typical I kind of just worked my way up, like the like when I first started playing, I farmed aim right before I was a stream player. Like I did the typical Sotarks maps, right?
Ah,
When I first started playing, and then like I kind of just moved on from like that into playing like like the Dragon Force maps, the like the 180 BPM Dragon Force maps, and then like
right.
after that I moved on to like I kind of just worked my way up basically. That's just like the way I can explain it. All right. I went from 180 and then I kind of started playing like 200 and then I started playing like 210, 220 and then like you kind of just work your way up and like the maps you play kind of fit what BPM you're trying to get better at.
Are there any
But I would just say like literally if you want to get better at a certain BPM like you have to play the BPM right. That's kind of just like the baseline.
right? Are there any roadblocks you feel like you hit on your way up that you
Well,
sort of have
yeah,
lessons you learned?
definitely. Yeah, I mean, like, definitely, like, the higher you go, the more effort it takes, right?
Right.
Or, like, the longer you want to go at a certain BPM, it takes longer to get better at a certain BPM. Like, when you're at 180, maybe it's not as hard as being perfect at 180 than it is to be perfect at, like, 230, 220, right?
How
But,
important would you say technique is in learning, I guess, tapping stamina?
like, tapping,
Right.
your tapping
Yeah, yeah, for
technique.
tapping.
Okay, I kind of have this like thought that like your tapping technique doesn't matter in the terms that like whatever works for you best is the best technique for you, right? Like everyone's technique is kind of suited for themselves, right?
Right.
Maybe that's not a good opinion, but like that's how it works. But that's kind of the way I think. That's like whatever is most comfortable for you and like how you can apply that and improve that your technique, then I would say that's probably best.
Is there a certain, if you had to sort of give a routine for someone? Let's say someone came to you and it's like, give me like a routine for grinding, or like maybe
Finding
within
speed
like
stamina.
yeah, speed stamina within like 6 months, like a 6 month timeline or so or
I
so.
mean, like I have to know more information, like what they can start
Okay,
off with. But I would say like maybe play your most like think about your most comfortable BPM you can stream or whatever, and then maybe like add, you know, 10 BPM or so, 15, 20. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Maybe 10 BPM, and then like maybe try playing maps with that until you are, you would see results, right? Like let's say you're 180, and then like I'd say like okay, play 190, maybe 195, 200 maps, but like that fits. Like don't play like a 200 death stream map, right? Maybe start with like a 200, burst map or so, right?
It
And
seems
then
like a lot of it comes down to feeling as to like if a map is too easy or too hard. Is there a way you can
yeah.
sort of describe like the feeling that you should have on
I
a
mean,
map?
like, I feel like everyone, like, when a map is too hard for you, right? Like, if you're
Right.
just not comfortable playing the map, you're just, it's just, chain misses on chain misses. Like, I feel like everyone should know when a map is too hard
Okay.
for
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. That's definitely fair.
And but like, if you're like consistently, like, even like 95%, you're just kind of like, you're hitting it, but maybe you're not acting it perfectly, but you know what I'm saying? Then
Right.
that's probably the maps you should play, or maybe like something along the lines of that.
A couple people ask about wrist movement versus finger movement. Do you feel like that's something that matters much, or is it the same sort of like just
I think, see, again, I think that kind of just takes it back to like the technique thing. It's like whatever works for you. Like there's really great players that use their wrist, and there's also really great players that use their fingers. I just think do whatever's comfortable for you, and like, you know, just carry on with it. You know what I mean? Like just stick to it, I would
right?
say.
So someone named I'm Martin asked, do you think DT maps with a lot of bursts faster than you can stream can improve your no mod streaming stamina? So like
That's a
high
good
BPM
question.
bursts?
Yeah. Well, see, like I want to say yes, but then again, I know a lot of people who are burst players, but that can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
that's
they
true.
can play like 300 BPM burst, but then they can't death stream like half of that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or not
Right.
half, but you know what I mean. So I don't know. I would just say like if you want to get good at getting the long no mod streaming stamina, you just play the no mod streaming stamina. But I guess maybe DT could like somewhat help, right? But I would say mainly you would just play the no mod streaming stamina to improve no mod streaming stamina.
Do you feel like you use a slightly different technique for higher BPM versus lower, or is it mostly the same type of technique?
Um, I would say it's mostly the same, but it's definitely more like tense, right? Like you're
Right.
more. It is somewhat altered, but I would say it's mainly the same for me.
Someone named Juan asked opinions on middle thumb. Any drawbacks?
Middle thumb. I don't know. I've never tried that, but hey, if that works for you and you become good with middle thumb, then I'm your biggest fan. All right.
Let's go.
So like,
So, oh, you can finish that thought.
no, no,
Oh,
that's it. I was
okay.
just saying I'm your biggest fan. If you're good with middle thumb, I'm your biggest fan.
Let's go. Can you go through some of your, I guess, early inspirations getting into OSU, and I guess some of your background as a beginner
Yeah,
OSU player?
yeah. So when I started playing, I would watch a lot of BTMC
Ah,
and like idkey and stuff. So when I started playing, I always wanted to be like BTMC, right? Or like idkey. Cause
right.
like I always just thought like because like Angel Sim and like all those guys were like jump players, but like I thought it wasn't that original, you know what I mean? Like everyone played jumps, right?
Oh,
So I
okay.
wanted to be like BTMC where I was just, I'd play streams because it just looked more satisfying, more it just felt more like rewarding to FC a stream map over FCing like a jump map. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you just feel more accomplished basically. And then I don't know, I kind of just ever since I started watching BTMC, I always just grinded streams, you know,
Have
and
you
eventually got
have you
to the
1v1'd
point.
any of them yet?
I 1v1 BTMC, yeah.
Oh yeah? How did that go?
Yeah. Well, I beat him, but like he failed. We were playing Chronostasis Hard Rock,
Oh.
and
Oh.
like he technically beat me like score wise, but he failed, and then like I won, but it was close. So
Oh, okay, I
I don't know.
see.
I guess
Dang.
I'll take the win, but and I'll give it to him. Like he won, so
Okay.
but I won, but
Yep.
I'll give it back to him.
I
I
see.
retract my win.
Someone
He
named
deserves it.
Nemroz asked, "How do you deal with finger locking?"
Yeah. See, this is like probably a big topic, right? That a lot of people. I mean, like at the end of the day, I would like for me, the way I deal with finger locking is like I feel like I tap harder than normal players would. Like a lot of people tap really light, right? But
Right.
I feel like the way to not finger lock is like get it, like not tap super hard, but like to the point where you're kind of like conscious on what you're tapping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
and
not. It's not like because if you tap too light, it's not. You're not controlled. If that makes sense, right?
right, right.
You kind of have like you're exactly deliberate. Someone said that like you're kind of like each circle you're clicking. But that's just the way I do with it. Is I kind of tap a little harder than I would say the normal players um, tap with.
Okay, yeah, that definitely makes sense. Like tapping hard enough to where you can really feel each
Not like
individual tap.
super hard, but like just like
Right. Or
you get what I'm
with
saying.
enough like feel to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone named Careless asked, "How much of improvement is mindset slash placebo based things for you?"
Oh, it is massive, bro. I'm like your mindset is pretty much like your skill cap in OSU, in my opinion. Like if you don't believe you can do something, like how are you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you have to just believe you're him. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, placebo goes a long way too, because like you know how like you can flip your screen upside down or whatever
Oh
to like
yeah.
when you play it. Like I don't for me, like I've done it on mouse where you flip your screen and I literally play with an upside down mouse.
Oh.
Like and it completely like you can completely noticeably see the difference between you playing like the quote unquote new map right upside down
Yeah.
over because you're just mind block. I mean, I believe in mind block. A lot of people don't believe in mind block. Maybe that's a bad thing, but you can noticeably see the difference between like seeing. So obviously, placebo mindset plays a huge deal. I wish I was the player that didn't believe in mind block. Obviously, right? Like
Right.
I could just, but I don't know. It's just too ingrained in my head that like it just exists. It just exists in my head rent free.
Oh no. Oh, someone asked, "What are the size of your hands? Do you think hand size affects your ability to play the game?"
No, I don't think. I think that doesn't matter.
How
No,
would you rate the size of your hands from like 1 to 10?
I don't know. Normal. I don't. How am I supposed to? I have to like have a reference, right? Like, how can
Okay,
I rate my hand size
one is really
myself?
small and ten's really big.
It's probably a 5. Then I don't know. It's like average.
Okay. I'm curious also, so you talked about your inspiration for learning streams, but can you talk about your mouse sensitivity story?
Oh, okay. So I was a Fortnite player. Like I played, I'll say semi-pro Fortnite, like with really low sense. And so I just wanted to like emulate my Fortnite sensitivity on Osu, right? So I kind of just got my sense based on my Fortnite sense.
Okay, I see. And I'm curious what made you make the shift, like what really inspired you to start playing OC a lot more, or like how'd you find the game,
Oh,
things like that.
okay. So I had a friend who plays League, and like we were in queue in League, and it was like a long queue. So he's like, download Osu, and then we just
Oh,
started playing Osu,
let's
and then
go.
we played multi. Everything will freeze, and then I kind of just kept playing the game since then.
Wait, that's awesome. Let's go.
Probably everyone's story. They just start up multi instantly,
Right.
get on the everything will freeze, and then I just kept playing the game since then, pretty consistently.
So there's a couple of questions asking about mouse drift. Is that something you have some insight on?
Yeah. Okay. So obviously for me, so I would say a lot of people would ask like, how do you deal with mouse drift? Me personally, the way I deal with mouse drift is like I lift my mouse every single time I can lift my mouse, basically. Like I don't you probably don't have to do that if you're like higher sense, right? But like almost every opportunity I get to lift my mouse, like whether it be like a kick slider or like a triple, even like stack streams or like closely spaced streams, like I'll lift my mouse even during a stream or like a triple if I don't have to move my mouse as much or like a slider, you know what I mean? Just
Oh,
like
okay.
any like stacked object or like slow slider or kick slider, I'll try and lift your mouse. So maybe I would just say if you're dealing with mouse drift issues, try to lift more on like where you can lift, like sliders, triples. You know what I mean?
Right. I've
So
heard.
you aim the triple and then lift your mouse and then aim the next triple. You know?
Okay. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, I've heard fancy lads say something similar where it's like you have to just make constant small adjustments instead of waiting for it to get
Yeah,
really off.
yeah. Because you can't like lift your mouse during like a fast BPM jump section, right? You only
Right.
can lift during like it has to be like a window where you can lift your mouse.
Yeah. That definitely
But
makes
that's probably
sense.
the best way, like triples, stack streams, kick sliders, slow sliders, breaks, I guess, sliders even. Or I mean spinners, sorry. Like maybe don't fully do a spinner. Like you don't need to like get 477 on a spinner. Like just
Right.
pass the spinner and lift your mouse.
Right. All right. Someone named Rekunan asked, at stream players, whenever I play streams or even some alt patterns, I find that tapping harder makes my flowing better and or more consistent. Why is this?
See, like that's the thing where when you tap harder, right, you have more control, right? And by having more control, that indirectly affects your aim, right? Because I would
Right.
say tapping indirectly affects your aim. Like if you're comfortable tapping something, it's gonna make you comfortable aiming something, right?
Yep, I agree. I agree with that.
So I guess he kind of just answered himself, right? Like when you're tapping deliberately,
Yep.
your aim is better.
Yep. Those are the same words that I would use. All right. Someone named I'm Martin again asked, I play a lot of finger control. Any tips on how to stay balanced in my streaming ability? I feel like the finger control maps with a lot of quick start and stop burst motions destroy my stamina for streaming maps.
Wait, say that again. Say that again.
So
Sorry.
basically they're saying that like finger control maps with lots of bursts destroy their stamina for stream maps. So it's like how do you stay balanced between different skill sets?
Yeah, I mean, like it's funny because for me, maybe because I don't have super good finger control. Like it's not horrible, right? But
Right.
I wouldn't say it's like super good. But even for me personally, like it's weird because like I'm not super good at alting or like weird finger control patterns. Even for me, like it's weird to say, but like a 220 death stream is easier to tap for me than like an alt finger control section. Maybe
Oh,
because like I'm trying to tap more deliberately, right? I'm trying to like play it perfectly. But I would just say like it's just like a finger control issue. Like you just have to improve finger control, right? And when you're more comfortable tapping finger control, then you won't have stamina issues with it, right? Because like it's more like you're struggling, right? On the
right.
finger control, so then you're struggling to tap it.
Yeah. And
So I would say,
if I had to add to that, I would probably say like you're welcome to like you don't have to neglect one skill completely while you focus on another one. Like you can play finger control and
yeah,
stamina in the
that's a
same
great point.
session.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, like you don't have to just tunnel vision one thing, right?
Right. All right. Someone asked, do you have any end game scores?
Uh, yeah, of course I do. Um, you want me to name a few
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah. Okay,
in
nah.
Futures Hard
Next
Rock,
question.
in Futures Hard Rock, Isolate Hard Rock. There's a lot. They're like 1K Hard Rock maps basically. Like a lot of the 1K Hard Rock maps, I would say, are some end game scores. But yeah, in Futures Hard Rock, maybe like most of the Xanthroid maps Hard Rock, most of the Neobliviscaris maps Hard Rock. What else? Yeah,
So
just mainly that.
I see. Lots of like the 8-star stream, like ring stream
Yeah,
maps
like
with
the
Hard
eight
Rock.
star Hard Rock maps,
I
basically.
see. S- Someone on the sheet named Izane, they asked, can you gift me supporter White Cat Gurbzy? Any thoughts
uh,
on that?
I mean, I have a thing in my stream that for like 4,000 channel points, you can redeem 1 out of 10 random number generator. Like I put up random number generator on Google, and then like if you guess the number, I just give to you supported
Oh, wait,
for like
really?
4,000. Yeah, and it's pretty cheap because like
Oh, wait,
I
that's
don't know,
cool.
I don't like, you know how like channels have like ridiculously large channel points. I
Oh,
don't know.
rewards.
I kind of like, yeah, like I like to keep mine low because like I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
fair.
basically. It kind of adds to the,
It keeps it more lively.
yeah, exactly. But
So
yeah, hey, if you want supporter, shameless plug. All right, there you go.
let's go. Twitch.tv/Gurbzy. Do you have an underscore? I don't remember.
Yeah, I do have an underscore.
I said Gurbzy
Get rid of that.
underscore. Let's go. All right.
Yeah.
Someone named the Ugly Bread asked, what type of tapping style do you use? Full alt, hybrid alt, single tap certain patterns, etc.
Oh,
And do you switch between
okay.
any of those?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, so I think it really depends on the map. Like most of the time, I'm single tap mainly, and then streams. Obviously, you're just streaming, right? But maybe for like slow alt, all alt, right? Obviously, like some people, I guess you can single tap some certain BPMs of alt, but all alt. Whenever it's slow BPM, I'll alt like extremely hard. Like I'll push down really hard on my keyboard because I have to, because like that's the way I kind of contain my slow BPM.
Right.
And then for like fast BPM jumps, I'll alt as well because I don't know, it's too it's too much effort single tapping like high BPM jumps, right? I don't know. It's just, I don't want to. Like I
Yeah.
maybe could single tap, but it's too much energy for me. So I'll high BPM jumps, and then yeah, that's basically how I tap. But most of the time, I'm single tapping.
Okay, I see. And you're playing Index Middle, right?
Yeah, I play index middle, no index ring. I don't like index ring.
Okay, you've tried it before, I assume.
Yeah, I've tried it. It's too weird for me.
I see. Let's
Hey,
see.
but if you're good with index ring, more power to you, bro.
Yeah, true.
That's
I think Idke switched to Ring when he came back.
yeah. Just whatever works for you, right? At the end of the day, it's like I feel like Osu is a game of just like figuring out what works best for you, right? It's not like copying other people's settings, right? Like that's not gonna you copying Emrek's area and his keybinds aren't gonna make you Emrek. You know what I mean? In
Right.
a day.
Yep, definitely very well said. Someone named Tricky asked, what is one regret, if you have one, that you carried with you along your climb to the top?
Okay. Well, this is easy. Like one, I kind of skipped getting good at like hidden. I would say maybe like low AR reading, even though it's not like a PP skill set, but it's like kind of more like a you. It's like a consistency skill set. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you're good at that, it kind of does carry over. I would say so. Maybe like low AR reading, hidden, and maybe slow BPM like alt. I'm not super good at. I wish I was good at that. Plus,
Ah,
it kind of just makes the game more enjoyable. Like you just get to play more maps, good songs as well that are like alt or whatever. Like there's some great alt songs that I wish I could play, but I'm not. the best at all. Like I'm not horrible, but I wish I was, more proficient at alt and like low AR.
Right. Ah, okay, I see. Do you I almost want to ask about tournaments then. Is that something you've ever had interest in?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really played that many tournaments. Obviously, I've only played. It's funny because like the round table was like my second tournament.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I haven't really played. I don't know. I right now I kind of want to just like I'm kind of on the rank grind right now, but maybe in the future I'll pick up on tournaments more. I know
Yeah.
I enjoy tournaments, but I just I'm just kind of like so I hate that I'm locked into like two skill sets. You know what I mean?
Right, I
I wish I
see.
was more of like an all arounder, like you or
Right.
some of the
Well,
other great players.
yeah, it's definitely a trade-off. I feel like there's a lot of
Yeah,
players
exactly.
who like they just grinded solo and skill cap for so long, and then they got one skill set to like top 10, and then they kind of branch out from there. And those end up being like in the long run, those are definitely the scariest tournament players. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
some
Yeah, but
foreshadowing.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like I wouldn't say play like just do it. At the end of the day, you should do what you want to do, right? But
Yeah,
yeah, it is good to kind of like get your even if you're not like grinding each skill set like perfectly, just even getting your fundamentals down for like each skill set, I would say, and then like pushing whatever you want to push, I would say is probably like the best way to go about. But I kind of just like push the skill set without, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. That definitely makes sense
So it's kind of weird, like having being good at one skill set and then like you're still kind of like training your fundamentals
on others.
on another. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I would say
Although I think
that's
that
what I would say.
the principles you mentioned about getting better at streams, where it's really, I think a big thing for a lot of players is like trying to find a shortcut, especially for grinding
Yeah, there
skill
is no
cap.
short. I wish there was a shortcut for like alt and all these like low AR reading as well, but it's there's really no shortcut, right? It's kind
Right.
of just brute forcing your way through it. And it's
Yeah.
also like a confidence thing as well, right? Where it's like the more you play, the more confidence you get, the more, it kind of correlates with each other.
There's this related question. There's an anonymous question that asked, as a top player, do you feel more pressured because of your status? Is there something the average OS player can do to put less pressure?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like for me personally, I just kind of have high expectations of myself, right? So I don't know if that applies. Maybe that just like doesn't
I think
apply to
that
others,
counts.
but I kind of just like have high expectations of myself, which I don't think is that healthy. Like you probably shouldn't have that, but I don't know. That's just my competitive nature,
Right.
right? Like
Well,
I
um,
just like a competitive guy,
yeah.
but
I would say it depends where it's that competitive or like those high standards
yeah,
are
but there's a
fueled.
balance, right? Where
Yep,
kind of like
exactly.
this like humbleness, like it's whatever, but also like, dang, like I really want to get better. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
I want to set these scores.
right. Well, I think that the opposite of that is just being like complacent with your skill level, and that's obviously not
Yeah,
good for improving either.
yeah, that
Uh,
too.
do you feel like any of it comes from the fact that you're kind of recognized as a top player?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I don't know. I think also a big issue is like you shouldn't be like arrogant either, right? With
Yeah,
like
yeah.
how good you are. Like there's obviously, room to improve on with every skill set. But yeah.
Someone named Weebody asked, has there been a moment where you seriously thought about quitting the game? If so, how did you get around this without giving up and developing a better mindset for the game?
Yeah. I wouldn't say quit, but I definitely like even now I'm kind of like more inclined. I kind of want to swap the tablet, right? Cuz like
Oh,
I just hate mouse drift. Like it's just really annoying to deal with and I just feel like the skill cap on tablet is like infinitely higher than what it can be on mouse. But I don't know, maybe that's just me coping, right? But Yeah, I would say I've never wanted to quit the game, but I've I've wanted to try swapping to tablet. I would say.
S- Someone actually asked, someone named Call Me Harv asked, to mouse players, where would you see yourself if you switched to tablet?
Yeah, see, this is a good question. Like, obviously, I don't know the answer, but I would maybe like I would like to think that I would be better on tablet than I would be on mouse. But that's just maybe that's just me coping.
Right? Have you ever
That
like did you try anyone's tablet at like round
I
table?
have tried tablet. I have a
Oh,
tablet. I haven't like I've only played it like maybe a few days, right? I have not really I kind of have this goal that I want to hit two digit before I try swapping, right?
oh,
Like I want to first, you know, I bef- at least if not hit two digit, like I have to plateau right before I swap, right?
yeah.
I want to go as far as I can with like my current settings, and like if I completely plateau, I'm completely washed, then then maybe I'll give tablet a swap, right?
That definitely makes sense.
Or I'll give tablet a try. But yeah. What else was in the question? I think
Oh,
he said,
it was just where would you see
oh,
yourself?
where, yeah, I would, but yeah, I would say, I would think I'd be like, I think I would be a little better on tablet
Some
solely based on the mouse drift, like
oh yeah, that's
having no mouse
interesting.
drift. Like some maps are just like unplayable for me,
Oh,
but
I've heard
like I
people
can play
mention that.
maps better on tablet. Like, like the square jump practice maps.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I can play those maps like better on tablet, like 1 week tablet better than I can play them with mouse, and I've been playing mouse for like 4 years.
Oh, okay, wow. Wait, so you have a tablet, you said?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't. Yeah, I just don't use
Oh,
it.
do you know what tablet it is?
Yeah, it's a. I think it's a 472.
Ah, okay, okay.
It's like the typical.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, it is. It's a 472.
All right. Someone named Kauji Cow asked, seeing as there has been a lot of controversy around this keyboard, I want to ask, what are your opinions of the wooting?
Oh yeah, the Wooting, um, phenomenon, where like it's the. Haven't you used it? I thought you released a video on it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I have a friend who got it, and so I tried it.
What
I
are,
borrowed
so
it.
what are your thoughts on it? I've never personally used the keyboard, so I don't know. But
Okay. So basically, it's an anti-finger lock keyboard. So like the
yeah, it's like whenever it releases, right? Whenever it's like rapid trigger, where whenever the keyboard releases and you close, it just automatically puts an input, right?
yeah, yeah. So like finger lock, like the reason why finger lock happens on normal keyboards, like that concept does not exist on the Wooting, because finger lock is basically like you didn't lift your finger high enough to reach the reset
Yeah,
point, or you didn't push down enough. But on the Wooting, it's like that there is no like set point you need to reach. So
yeah,
it's if you have a lot of finger locking issues, then it could help you. But and especially if you I think finger locking mostly comes from like if you're not quite able to play that BPM or whatever comfortably. So
yeah.
with that
hmm
in mind,
I agree.
yeah, that's really where the wooden keyboard helps the most.
I would
Is
agree. And also,
yeah,
I mean, if you're like constantly finger lock, even with the wooding, it's not like perfect, right? Like I assume it's like, you know,
oh, I mean, like
um,
you'll never finger lock unless your finger
yeah,
literally stops moving.
yeah. So then it's like a finger control issue rather than a like whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Like if you finger lock on the wooden keyboard, I mean, I don't even think that's possible to be
Yeah. Well,
honest.
I personally haven't used it, but
Right.
like, and also the way I tap, I don't really finger lock much regardless. I don't even know if the wooting would help me because like
Yeah.
I don't tap super light, right? Like I'm tapping considerably hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. For
I don't even know if the wooting would help a player like me, but maybe if you're like a speed burst player, maybe that it would help you. Like if you're, you know, trying to conserve energy, maybe you're like finger locking a bit more. And I've also heard like a lot of players say how much they love the wooting, right? Like a lot of
yeah.
great players who like it. Like I don't know, Saito released a video on it.
Yeah.
I haven't used it, but I don't know. I guess I guess it's good, but I haven't used it. But I've heard a lot of good things about it, so take that information with a grain of salt.
Yeah, I think especially players in your situation, if you already tap pretty hard and you don't have finger locking issues, then like if basically if you already have a decent keyboard, like if you're not on the market for a new keyboard, then it's not really worth buying. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's I think a pretty good summary of that topic.
yeah, yeah.
So, all right, someone on the sheet
It's
asked,
also like sold out most of the time. No, isn't it
or
like
is it
hard to
really?
get? I don't know. I just like heard that it was.
Oh, wait, that's
How'd you
crazy.
get yours? Did you just like
Um,
you they just shipped it to you? Like you just got it?
well, one of my friends that lives nearby got it, and I borrowed it for a
Oh,
day
okay.
for the video. So, but
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
yeah, they just bought it from the website. So,
Yeah,
but
okay.
yeah, let's see. So, someone on the sheet asked if you're actively trying to overcome a barrier for like 3 years of being able to comfortably tap and play 180 BPM streams, while also struggling to find a better or more comfortable tapping technique and posture due to not being able to succeed after a large amount of time. What would you do if you were in that situation after so long, and what would be the proper path in taking steps to achieving to overcome such a wall after so much time has already been invested?
I think that is a hard question, but I mean, I don't know, cause I mean, is I don't and he changed tapping techniques like constantly, he said?
He said he's just been struggling to find a better or more comfortable technique after like a long, long time.
I mean, is it I would say like out of the techniques you've used, maybe pick the most comfortable one you've had, right? I'd say
Right,
like the one that most fits with you and then like kind of push on to that one and maybe get yourself, more trained on that particular technique and then kind of go outwards from there. But because like I would say because I've never changed sensitivity. I always thought like changing the way you play was kind of like counterintuitive, right?
yeah.
Because you're kind of just like resetting your progress, in my opinion, right?
Yeah, that's
Every
a fair
time,
way to put it, especially if you rely a lot on muscle memory.
yeah, like Osu is essentially a muscle memory game, right? And
Right,
it's like the more you kind of mess around with your settings and like change the way, because I've never changed sensitivity or anything like that. And yeah, I don't know. I always just thought like changing your settings is kind of like the wrong way to go about it. You know what I mean? It was
yeah.
more just like adapt kind of
There,
rather than
I'm sure there's situations where players really feel
yeah.
like if their sensitivity
Yeah, I
was a
mean,
little
like
bit,
if it's like absolutely necessary, right?
yeah,
Like maybe you're like like it's hurting or whatever. I don't know what XYZ. There's like obviously certain situations where, okay, switching is the best option here, right?
right.
But for the most part, I would say like if you're comfortable and you know it's fine, then I would try to stay away from switching settings. But yeah, I don't know. That's just kind of my two
I
cents.
think it's like you'll be able to tell if you think changing your style is going to help you.
Yeah,
But
exactly. Like if
yeah,
it's absolutely necessary, but if you know you don't have to, and it's like it's more like a skill issue rather than you know what I mean?
yep, exactly. If I had to touch on this question, I would so usually if you're on a wall, if you're at a wall for that long, then it's because there's something else that you haven't considered yet
Yeah.
that's actually
Even
holding you back.
like maybe you're just not confident too. Like you gotta like give some confidence to yourself, right? Like
Yep,
I guess
exactly.
it's easier said than done when you're like at a wall for so long, right? It's kind of like that kind of irk in your mind that like, oh, I can't do it, right? But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, it is all mental, I would say,
yeah. I
right?
was
Where it's
just about to talk about confidence as well, especially with streams. If you've been struggling with them for that long, then it's like so on streams. Obviously, like if you're tensing up, then you're not going to be able to tap as comfortably. So
yeah,
it's like if you're at a wall with streams for that long and feeling so unconfident, it's like the less confident you are, you try to like muster up the tapping, and that
yeah,
usually results in tensing in a lot of players. And so I think really trying to fake it till you make it with confidence is probably going to help a lot in a situation like that.
no, yeah, for real, it actually does help. And I would just say, like, if you're struggling, my best advice, like the way I would say on how to go about like starting streams is like kind of find the most comfortable BPM for you that you can kind of just like tap like very good, like infinitely. Not maybe not infinitely, but you
Right.
know,
Like
like you
500
can kind
notes
of
or
death
so.
stream it, right? Yeah, exactly. And then kind of just like work out from there. Because
Right.
like I wouldn't say like, oh, you should just start at 180, right? Or like, oh, you should just start at 190 or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of just like whatever is comfortable for you and kind of work outwards from there
Yeah. And for some
rather
people that
than
will be like 180, 190. And I think
yeah,
for,
maybe that is 180, 190
yeah,
for some
I
people.
think
Maybe it's
others might be like even 140 or 150.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah, for real.
So yeah, I think something really important is like everyone starts at different places, but just because you started lower doesn't mean you have a lower cap.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly.
Someone on the
Hey, there was a
sheet.
time where Bubble
Oh yeah.
Man complained that he couldn't tap when I remember that
Oh
tweet or whatever.
yeah.
There's a tweet saying Bubble Man. I don't know
Yeah,
you
yeah.
probably
A
heard of
Bubble
Bubble
Man
Man
tweet.
where he's complaining that it's like physically impossible for him to tap. I forget what BPM it was. I think it
Well,
was like
190.
yeah, it was like 190 or 200 or something, and he was complaining. Oh, he wasn't chosen by God or whatever. He wasn't. Yeah, it was something along the lines of that where it's like, oh, I just wasn't born for this or whatever.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
forget.
If someone finds the tweet, we can read it out loud.
And then look at him now. So
Yeah, he
that's all I'm
has.
gonna say. Maybe that's inspiring to you, but I believe anyone is capable, right, of doing all these skill set. It's literally just time, mindset, and like, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I remember like Bubbleman grinded
I
like
don't believe
crazy.
anyone is like physically incapable of playing Osu, like to a certain level. Like maybe you're not gonna be MREC, right? But you're you can definitely be like proficient, more proficient than you were.
Right. I know some people have said that like genetics only play a role at like maybe 240, 250 death streams.
Yeah. But even then it's like I wouldn't even say that.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Eric. Okay, so someone grabbed the tweet. So the tweet says, I don't want to admit it, but I've started succumbing to the train of thought that there genuinely is a biological limit on stamina, and I'm one of the unlucky few that can't push past 190 long streams without mashing.
Yeah,
Please let
see?
this be false.
Yeah, see? And
That
then
tweet
look
is
at
from
him now. This was
2019.
in 2019.
Yep. So and now he has like some of the craziest stream scores in this game.
Yeah,
Like there's
like
some
and he
stream
can
app
stream
leaderboards.
250. Can't
Yeah.
he has like Shinbatsu FC or whatever.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
those are from the Heaven's Game FC. So, I mean, do it, there you go. There's a prime example that like
I think it's time to break
anything is
another
possible.
limiting belief. Someone on the sheet asked specifically to you. They asked, "Is it possible to get to the skill of many top tablet players with a mouse?"
Um I want to say yes, but then again, like I want to say yes, but I personally don't even know because it's like who even is, like who compares to MREC on a mouse, you know what I'm saying? Like I just believe it's not even believe. I just know the skill cap is higher on a pen because like you don't have to lift your mouse, right? Like you just like
Uh,
your grip is an issue, right? But that's a skill issue, right? But the mouse lifting is more an input issue rather than like a skill issue, right?
right,
So
right,
I
right.
would like to believe I want to say yes, but then again I would think no. That like obviously you can be a great mouse player, like you can be like top player, right, with mouse. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, I feel like tablet will theoretically always have a higher skill cap than mouse.
yeah. That's actually a good point. Like if you need to take even like a split second sometimes to reset
Like
drift,
that being said, if you play mouse and you love playing mouse, I'm not telling you to swap, right? I'm
right?
just saying that at the end of the day, theoretically speaking, like tablet does have a higher cap than mouse does. But there's obviously amazing great players like Fancy Lad, all these great mouse players that I mean they're just insane with mouse. But
Yeah. Someone asked anonymously on the sheet. They just asked Osu with a question mark. Have any thoughts on that?
Osu how?
How? Wait, you're right. um, so I'm curious, when you're playing streams, is there anything specific that you focus on or like ways that you read? I know you sort of said that you kind of, with
Oh,
accelerating, you read by intuition, but like what
yeah,
exactly do you focus on longer
yeah.
streams?
Like when I read, like people have this kind of debate where like you look at your cursor, you look at the circles. You know what I mean? Have you
Right.
heard that before?
Yeah, yeah,
I would say you look at the circles. Like I don't know why you're looking at your cursor because like your cursor is like what you move.
yeah. Right.
Like the circles are what change. So I would say looking at the circles, but yeah, I don't know. Like it is for me personally, I would say it's more like a feel type of thing. I would say that's for a lot of people, but they don't realize it, right? Like you just know the spacing, you know what I mean? Like when it's low spacing, you kind
Yeah.
of can just feel it with your it's like so ingrained. It's so much muscle memory that you've kind of repeated that same spacing. Maybe that's why like those like super giga spacing like 9-star streams
Yeah.
like how everyone kind of just like like can't play those. Maybe it's because like it's just so out of muscle memory for so many players because like no one has played those
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
spacing of streams that like it's so foreign to so many players, right? But it's like oh the constant like the typical 7 8 star spacing on streams like a lot of players can kind of just like constantly hit those because it's just so
Yeah, they've played it so many times.
exactly it's like muscle memory but I would say, yeah. Look at the circles and like get a feel. Like, you know, after a set amount of time, like you'll just be so used to the spacing on streams that like, it's like nature to you to just aim it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good way to put it, I would say, because I think if you think about it that way, it makes it a lot easier to think about like how to tackle harder maps because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, you can't play it now because you don't have those, like, you don't have the hours basically on those
Yeah.
specific patterns.
Yeah. I mean, I think I think a lot of people make Osu harder than it has to be. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it's such a simple and beautiful game that like a lot of people like overcomplicate things. It's really straightforward, right? It's really just kind of like getting your muscle memory down and just like improving based on that, right? But a lot of people kind of make it harder than it has to be.
Right. Definitely agreed. Although at the same time, I can definitely understand the questions that people have when they're kind of coming up
Yeah.
as newer players. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, no, of course. Of course.
So, someone named Chakra Warrior asked, how much advantage do you think a single tap player has over full alt at speed?
Really advantage. I would argue that they have a disadvantage.
Well, do you feel like you could make the argument in any capacity?
Yeah, that they have an advantage. I
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
like maybe someone like Emmerich, like you're I guess it's like harder to be consistent at because like with alting it kind of like changes BPM, right? Like different maps. I guess it's like maybe harder to be more consistent, but single tapping is more like reactive based, right? It's like it's easier to be consistent with single tapping than it is to be with alting, but I would argue that like alting has like a higher cap than single tapping does, right?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. In theory, it
But
definitely does.
I would argue that alting has a higher skill cap than single tapping, but single tapping is easier to be consistent than alting. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think the other thing for single tapping is like it forces you to use your like tap with your finger faster, basically. So
Yeah,
your actual finger speed gets pushed more. And so
that is true.
if
That is
you
true.
if you train with single tapping, but
Kind of
then
indirectly affects your streaming somewhat. It's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, like especially if you train single tap speed on both fingers, even if you're a full alt player, if you do that, that will push your actual finger speed to the next level basically. And then if you go back to full alt for actually setting scores, then that can be really helpful.
Yeah.
All right. Do you have any like just general wisdom for or like motivational words? I'm sure you've seen a lot of people come to you asking about like just any tips or general like I don't know. Are there any like really common questions that you feel like you get asked a lot?
What for what? like wisdom and Osu.
Yeah, well, it could be
Um,
general wisdom also.
um, general wisdom. I don't know about that, but in Osu, I don't know. Like I would just say don't try to rush things. Maybe like Rome isn't built in a day. Maybe that's general wisdom. Maybe
Oh,
that
that's
applies to
wise.
Osu, right? Right. Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Like it takes time to get better, right?
Yeah,
It's not like a get rich quick scheme that it's like, oh, I'm Emmerich in a week,
yeah,
right? Like Emmerich has genuinely dedicated like a large portion of his
his
time in
entire
life,
life, to be
like
honest. Yeah,
literally, like just into getting better at Osu, and like, however you want to put that. Like, yeah, he is the best, but you have to realize he's put so much time, and like you have to just respect it, right?
yeah, for sure.
And it's yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day.
I feel like it's kind of similar for you, to be honest, because there's a lot of players that like you kind of hear about them for the first time and they're already really good. So it's like, oh, they must have just like spawned in with all that
Yeah,
skill.
no, like I grinded the game. Like I've been playing the game for 4 years, right? Like maybe okay, maybe like I am pretty good for how long I've been playing, but it's still like it is a grind at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like
So,
I would be like it's not easy. Like not a lot of players can get to like 3 digit and like even at like 1,000 hours. Like there's not too many 3 digit players with like really low hours, right?
right,
It's
that's
not an
true.
easy task.
I think for you, it really just came down to like sticking to like just kind of staying on that path of
Yeah.
grinding that one skill set for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Someone on the sheet named
And maybe
Alex16.
that skill set isn't streams for someone else,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
it's aim. Maybe it's,
yeah,
whatever you align yourself with.
yeah. But I think sticking on that path is really important. All right. Someone named Alex16 asked, "At what point did you realize you were a top player?"
I personally I don't even know. I guess like the word top player is kind of arbitrary, right?
Right.
Like I guess it means like maybe Emmerich thinks I'm bad at the game, right?
Okay.
But maybe someone maybe maybe like someone else thinks I'm good, right? So I don't know. I try to stay humble. Okay, you know what? No, I'm joking. I try to stay humble. No, I would just say like, okay, I'm good at streams and like, okay, maybe I'm pretty good at streams, but I would say like I'm a top player only in streams, but then like in other skill sets, I'm not. Like Habib is way better than me at like everything else. Right?
Whoa, where did that come from?
No, you are. No, I'm serious. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe just like stream top player, I'll take it. But anything else, I guess like I realized I was a top player when I don't know, like when I could do good stream scores. I don't know. I
Okay,
don't know how to answer
so
it.
it's pretty vague, I assume.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on
You
that
realize
topic.
you're the top player when when you're confident. I guess it just comes down to confidence, right? Like
Right.
you just know you can do stuff that other people can't.
Yeah, I think I would say it starts happening when you notice other people calling you a top player. Like
Yeah, I
the first few
guess.
times, it's like, yeah, right, you're
Yeah. It's like
joking.
you don't call yourself top player, like other
Yeah,
people call you top
yeah, yeah,
players.
exactly.
Like again, like I personally I kind of think I don't have I kind of have this skewed thing that like okay, this is like maybe a good mental for me, but maybe bad mental for other people that like you're only good when you're like top 50 or whatever. Like that's just my mindset, right? Like I
Yeah.
just want to get better, right? But you know, yeah.
I'm curious what the story is on your user page where it says the greatest stream stamina player to touch the game. Welcome.
Okay, that's like obviously a joke,
Right.
but
I'm
yeah,
wondering what the story is because I noticed a lot of people
I don't
talk about
know.
that.
Maybe I just like got a good stamina stream score and I just like, I'm putting this in my bio. All right, I'm
Dang.
the man.
Let's go. This it seems like a confidence thing mostly.
Yeah, I mean, like again, like fake it till you make it, right?
Right.
Like it just kind of happens. I definitely was really confidence boosted when I set my 900 though. I can't lie. Like
Yeah, that's yeah. So
definitely
many.
like setting scores gives you confidence, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
for
if
sure.
you're it's kind of like, oh wait, I have a kind of a perfect way to put it. Like when you're kind of like on a barrier
Right.
and like let's say your barrier is like 300 pp or whatever, right? And you
Okay.
kind of get past that barrier and like let's say you set it 300 or whatever. Maybe it's not 300, maybe it's 200, but let's just say it's 300. Let's say you set that 300, right?
Yep.
And then like okay, you break it once and you're really confident and then like maybe you break it twice and then maybe three times, maybe four times, right? And then like eventually you kind of get to the point where it's like you get a 300 and then it's like normal. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
It's like expected
Right.
kind of, and that's kind of the way.
Do you feel like you try to kind of use that to your advantage, or like,
Yeah, I would say like because like you have confidence, right? Then you don't get nervous or whatever. Like let's say you're nervous for 300, right? But then
okay,
eventually like you've set so many 300s, it's like why am I getting nervous for another 300, right?
would you use that strategy even for like a barrier you haven't broken yet? Like if you're going for a
Yeah.
1K?
No, I would say that's why Emmerich is the best player in the game, right? Like he has the confidence and then like he's not getting nervous for like 1Ks and all these things but it's like if, any other top player was on the 1K like they're freaking out, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
When
I
they're
think,
on that 1K play, like they're freaking out, but Emmerich just is so over that mind barrier, right?
right.
That kind of like mental gap that he can literally just do whatever, right? He's just
Yeah.
so like he set 61 Ks. Why is he gonna get nervous for another 1K? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's almost like it seems really powerful if you're able to like break the barrier in your head before you've even broken it, like in
Yeah,
reality.
yeah. Obviously, getting past that first one is like really hard,
Right.
right? Like getting that first 1K is like ridiculous, right? But I guess he's just, you know, yeah.
Someone on the sheet, actually, this was Alex16 again, asked, was there a point where it was hard to play Osu while balancing it with other things in life, such as school or job?
Yeah, definitely. Like I'm in college now, and like during summer, I was kind of like streaming and playing every day, right?
Right.
But now that I'm in college, it's kind of harder to because I don't only play OC, right? Like I like to play other games.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
I tried Overwatch 2. I don't know if you know, like that
Yep.
game just came
Yeah.
out,
Yeah. I did.
so I was playing Overwatch 2, and then like I have school, obviously, right? College I have to do, but I don't know. Like it's kind of just everything in life. It's not just OSU. It's just kind of balancing everything, right? Whether that be OSU or school or whatever, just like your hobbies or whatever, going out. It's kind of just you know
Yeah.
setting you know time management.
Yeah. Do you have any specific strategies? So there's a question where someone said, I'm on my first year of college. I can't seem to get rid of habits like not going to bed early and not working with a schedule. They said, I also know that breaks are actually helpful, but I'm taking too many breaks and can't seem to improve. Instead, I'm actually degrading. Do you have any tips for how to manage OSU in your time as a college student? And are there any techniques to keep your own skill sets fresh without being degraded while you're busy doing other things?
Hey, I wish I had the same answer with like going to sleep late and stuff. Like I don't have the best sleep schedule either, and like I don't have um like a perfect schedule either. Like I don't plan. Do you plan everything you do like in a week?
Me, no, no, I do not.
Yeah, you don't.
Except,
Yeah,
except this month,
like
I have the interview scheduled, but that's like very
yeah.
rare.
Okay, yeah. But I would just say like maybe if you're taking a lot of maybe just like play however I don't know. Like I tend to play. How long do you tend to play?
My
Would you say like whenever you play like
and if I can usually not play longer than like 3 hours. That's usually like a full
yeah
session
I,
for me.
I'm the same. I'm the same.
Yeah,
I usually play like 3 hours whenever I can, like 3 hours at most.
yeah. That's usually where like my
And that's
session
that's literally
reaches
all
its
you
end.
need to be honest
Yeah,
for you to improve. Like maybe 2 to 3 hours or so. Like just focusing whatever skill sets you're trying to focus on, and like that goes a long way. Like you don't need to play like 6 7 hours a day,
oh yeah.
right?
And
It's
one
pretty unnecessary.
I've This took me like an
I
embarrassingly
would
long
argue that
time.
even playing super long is kind of like um
It can be
not
bad.
so good either. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like it's like
One thing that took me a while to recognize is that like you have a lot more time in your day than than you think, but at the same time you have a lot less time than you probably want, which is I think where the issue comes from, which is that
yeah,
like you want your day to be longer, but at the same time it's like there's because typically let's say you have like 12 hours between like sleep and then like kind of morning routine and night routine, like between all that stuff you have like 12 hours, which is a long time, probably longer than you might recognize if you're able to make the most of it. So,
scratch everything I just said. You need the Kobe Bryant mental. If you were waking up at 6 a.m. to play Osu, you need to wake up at 4 a.m. That's an extra 2 hours of grind time.
true,
No, I'm
true.
joking.
David Goggins would like to have a word with you.
Yeah,
I wake up at 3:59.
yeah. He's gonna sponsor me after what I just said right there.
Oh, let's go.
No, I'm joking, but yeah, just I don't know. I would say like even just 2 to 3 hours is like sufficient enough for you to
Right,
improve.
right, and you don't need to play every single day. And you also don't
Yeah,
even need to play that
that is true.
long.
I would even argue that like taking breaks is good as well, but
Yeah,
not like maybe not like prolonged breaks, but you know,
yeah.
like
Like,
maybe you're just having a bad week that week and you're just like not setting anything. You're not, you just feel like you're just taking that break, and when you come back, you just feel better. I don't know. For me, that's been the case. Whenever I take a break and I come back, I just feel better than I was before.
yeah, yeah. I actually agree with that. Someone asked if you have a favorite skill set, but you're improving in literally every area other than your favorite, should you stop pursuing that skill?
Uh,
Interesting situation.
so he says he has a favorite skill set, but he's improving in every other skill set, but he
Yeah.
wants to. I would say like if you have your favorite skill set, then play that skill set, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I mean, I guess hey, whatever, it's working for him. He's playing every skill set good, I guess, right?
Right, right.
So he's improving at every skill set. So
Yeah, I mean, if that
yeah, I would
skill
say
set,
not to drop it. Like I don't know,
yeah,
play your best skill set the best, right?
I
But
agree.
then
I agree. Yeah, if that's the skill set you have the most fun with, then like I don't think it should matter
pursue
how
it.
much you've improved at it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Someone asked, Gurbzy, do you play Minecraft PvP?
I used to like um when I was like younger, but I haven't really touched it since
Oh
back in
no.
like back in like the old days. Like I don't remember the year like 26. I don't even know. It was a long
Oh.
time ago when I was younger. I'd play. Maybe that's what started it all.
Oh, true, true. I'm actually curious since we were talking about that, but how you got into Fortnite.
Oh, okay. That's a good question. So I don't know. So my first PC game I played was Minecraft, right?
Okay.
And then after that, I started playing like Steam games, right? So
Okay.
like I played like TF2 and stuff like Gmod. And
Okay.
then H1Z1 came out. I don't know if you know what game that
Yeah,
is.
I do.
So that was kind of like the first battle royale, right? And I love that game. Obviously, I don't know, the community was kind of toxic, but I love that game. And after H1Z1 came out, I just kind of really liked the battle royale genre, and I was pretty good at H1Z1, right?
Okay.
And then Fortnite came out, and then like that game just kind of blew up, right? And then I just kind of was on that game. I stuck to that game.
Okay. So it was like
So
already
ever
your
since,
genre.
yeah, basically. And but then when I was playing and then while I was playing Fortnite, I think I've been playing Osu like almost like right when I started playing Fortnite, I kind of started playing Osu.
Oh,
Like
okay.
4 years, I would say. I think for how long is Fortnite? How long? When did Fortnite come out? Yeah, okay. Well, it came out in like I started playing Fortnite in like I think it was I don't know, maybe like December 2017 or something. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
2018. And
Okay.
then I started playing Osu in August 2018. Yeah, that's probably
Oh, wow.
that's probably right.
But I
So kind of
assume
like while
Osu was kind of on the back burner. or not really?
Yeah, like whenever I wasn't playing Fortnite, I just like play Osu basically.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you kind of grinded them both side by side.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah, all right. Someone asked.
Or like
I,
whenever I was in queue or whatever, I just play Osu.
oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I see. Okay, someone asked, I have really inconsistent aim. On one day, my aim feels fine, when sometimes it's really terrible. Should I change sensitivity, change to tablet, or push with my current settings? I'm ranked 250k with 1000 DPI.
Yeah, see, like I mean, it's just like the same for everyone. Like everyone has good days, bad days. I personally have the notion that like you shouldn't change settings. Like we already talked about that, right? That like I if assuming 1000 DPI is comfortable for you, right?
Right.
And like your current settings are, maybe not like completely optimized, right? But they're comfortable, right?
Yeah.
That like you should push on with 1000 DPI. Like because no one has like set settings for themselves, right? Like there's not like, oh, personalized settings, like they are your settings, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
that's
I
true.
would just say like push your I personally would just say um like push the settings you have now. But I mean, if you personally think that like you're being hindered, right? But it's like when you switch settings, then it's like, okay, then it's the same thing's gonna happen. And then are you gonna blame that sensitivity? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Or
that's a good
it's
point.
that's kind of just like my thought process behind it.
Yeah, I would say experiment a little bit, but if you find that you're having the same issue on every sense, then just pick one that feels okay for you and just kind of stick with it and grind with it.
Yeah.
And regarding tablet, I think if it's like you should be able to tell if like it's really the mouse, like the fact that you're playing mouse. Like if the
Yeah.
thought that like I should try tablet, I should try tablet, if it's like always in your head when you're playing, then you should probably at least try it because
Yeah.
just trying it will give you a better
Even
answer
the
than anyone.
placebo of just like, okay, I have a tablet now, right?
Right.
Like that even goes a long way in my opinion.
Yeah, and like if you're able to borrow another person's tablet or just try from someone else without buying it yourself, could
Yeah. I'm
definitely
just
help a lot.
very anti you probably know that I'm just like I'm very anti setting
Change.
change.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Like obviously there are some player like Vaxay, I heard like he can just like change
Yeah.
areas and like
Yeah.
be a demon, but like I don't know. Like I would say for majority of people, that's not the case, right? Like, obviously there's anomalies and Vaxay is definitely an anomaly.
Yep.
But yeah, I would say like I'm just personally very anti setting change based.
Someone asked if you cook for yourself, what is your go-to meal?
If I cook for myself. I don't know. Like I don't really cook for myself other than like breakfast, so maybe just like eggs or something. I don't know. Like, eggs and toast or something. Basic.
Oh, let's go. Do you have like a go-to, like if you're just like your default food?
I don't know. Not really. Not really
Oh,
a default. I don't know. I kind of change whatever I eat like every day. So
okay, okay.
I don't like eating the same thing over and over again.
All right, time for the ultimate question. What's the ultimate grind set for anyone pushing streams? What's your PSA?
Um, I don't know. Like the ultimate grind set. I don't know. Just keep going, bro. Like
Is there any
don't stop.
like sort of final opinions or wisdom you want to send off to people?
Um, yeah. I would say like if you're at a barrier, don't think that it's the end of the world. And like when you catch like a confidence train, like stay on the train. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like genuinely think you're improving and like you know that this particular skill set is it's getting easier for you. Kind of just be in the mindset of just like know when you like basically just like knowing when you should be confident and like knowing that like it's not the end of the world when you're kind of like reaching a barrier and like trying to get past it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I see. I think confidence is definitely a huge thing.
It
So,
is. It's a lot bigger than what people think it is. I would say.
all right. I think that's some pretty good wisdom to wrap up the interview. But yeah, thanks again, Gurbzy, for joining. So, do you have any
Yeah.
places where people can find you, or maybe ask you questions?
Yeah. I would just say like my Twitch, Gurbzy underscore, maybe my Twitter, it's just Gurbzy on Twitter. I I'll post maybe some good takes, maybe some bad takes, hopefully not, but yeah,
All right.
just those two.
Awesome. Thanks again, everyone, for listening, and
Yeah,
Gurbzy for
I
being
can lead
here.
the horse to the well, but I can't force him to drink. All right, I'm
That's
giving you
wise.
guys all the insights. All right,
Let's go. But yeah, thanks everyone
here,
for listening.
maybe
And
one last piece of
yeah, sure.
wisdom. No, that was it. Like I can lead the horse to the well, but
Oh,
can't force him to drink.
yep. Yep. I think that's important to keep in mind for anyone listening to these as well, that, we're here to give the insights that we have. But
Yeah,
yeah, join us tomorrow morning for an interview with White Cat. Let's go. But
yeah. Thanks for having me, though. I
yeah,
appreciate it.
thanks for joining, Gurbzy. I'll see you all next time.
Yeah, take it easy.